What is going on, guys? My name is Link, and I just wanted to talk for a few minutes about some improvements that could be made to Destiny as of right now. The gameplay that you're seeing behind is a few games of Rift that I was playing. Keep in mind this is about a month and a half after Taken King is launched, so Rift is not being spammed like it was before. You know, it's not the brand new game mode to play anymore. And it's not Iron Banner. People aren't spamming it. So I just wanted to show this gameplay, these particular games. One of them is obviously, you're going to see it's very, very, very short. As you can see here, I'm just taking a look at some of my teammates slash possible foes for this next match. As is something I like to do before matches, just so I can kind of get an idea of what people are using, if there's a lot of snipers or a lot of shotguns, you know, whatever's happening. And you're about to see one of my biggest problems I currently have with Destiny's PvP. And yeah, you just saw it right there. This is just insanely stupid. I get into the match, and not only was the match like done, like, you know, almost over, it was over. Like, the match was over before I even went into the match. And this is one of my biggest problems with Destiny right now. You can look at the board. The whole team just joined in right at the end, and those last two guys were kind of in the match, maybe. This is such a massive problem with Destiny's PvP, because not only is leaving a match because you're losing very easy, it's almost encouraged. There are almost never any loot drops at the end of matches. And honestly, when people see that their team is losing, they see no reason not to just back out and find a different match, because they're not expecting to get anything at the end of the game anyways. You know, why not just back out? We're getting crushed. We're backing out. Oh, look, that other guy just backed out. We should back out too. We're already going to be down a person. This is such a massive problem that I have with Destiny's PvP, other than how it's honestly not really any more balanced than it was before after the Thorn Last Word patch, the 2.0.0 patch. It's really no more balanced than it was before. As you're going to see in this next game, it's just awful. The connections are terrible, and there was just no way that I could have played competitively in this match regardless of what layout, weapon, stats that I had, period, because it was so laggy. It's simply awful. But like I said, it's too easy to back out of a match. There should be more penalty for backing out of matches consistently than simply losing out on the end of the game rewards. Because at this point in time, there are no end of the game rewards. They're basically non-existent. Nobody is ever expecting to get anything at the end of the game. And my suggestion for this, I'm not just going to present a problem and say fix it. My suggestion for this is implement some sort of system that will punish players that consistently back out of matches. It's simple as that. If you consistently back out of matches simply because your team is losing or you don't finish matches, then you should be banned from PvP activities for a certain amount of time. And the more you do it, the longer you should be banned. And I'm not going to say that this should be a PvP only thing. People that I understand having to leave every once in a while, like, oh man, you're in a hurry for something and you forgot and you gotta go this one time. But people that consistently back out of matches simply because their team is losing or they're not playing well or the people they're playing against are simply too good, there should be some sort of punishment for that. There should be some sort of ban happening for people who do that consistently. And I think that should apply to PvE as well, for match-made activities, for heroic strikes, the legacy strikes, and the level 36 strike playlist. People that consistently back out should receive a ban from playing the strikes. Yeah, it's as simple as that. These are just my suggestions. My suggestions may not be viable, but I think that something needs to be done about this, because as of right now, it's simply not okay. The game just started, as you can see. Just watch. I'm just gonna let you watch for a few moments here. It's insane.
Gains the lead. The spark has arrived. Enemy runner active. Stop them. runner approaching the rift. Enemy runner stop.
The door didn't open when I walked up to it. This happens like 4 or 5 times in this match. This guy just took a bunch of shots and didn't die for a little bit. That was absolutely insane. The door didn't open when I walked up to it again.
Charging the spark.
This is the kind of stuff that I should not be seeing. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. Look at this. This is just insane right here. I don't know. I don't know if I have any suggestions to fix this. I get meleeed from nothing right there. You can see.
Enemy runner.
I don't know. This is another problem with Desiny right now. Besides no punishment for leaving matches, automatically spawn killed. See that? Killed straight off the spawn.
Spark charge.
It's just insane. As I was saying, besides leaving matches consistently with no punishment, there needs to be something done about the lag, especially in the more competitive events like Trials of Osiris and Iron Banner. And I'm not talking about created lag, like literal cheaters. I'm talking about just game lag. The door didn't open when I walked up to it. You see that? It's just insane. It's not okay. Something needs to be done about this. And honestly, I'm not a professional. I'm just some guy who plays games. I don't know what can be done about this. You see, I died from his throwing knife. The one that he threw and was floating around my head the entire time I was killing him. Like I said, I'm just a guy who likes to play games. I like to play games in front of people. I like to play games for people, but I don't know. I don't know if I have any suggestions for this, but something needs to be done about it. Possibly dedicated servers instead of game hosts. It's just it's awful. It's really, really terrible. And every time that I play Iron Banner or Trials of Osiris back when it was in the game, I hated it. Obviously, when players were actually cheating was a different story. See that? When players were actually cheating was an absolutely different story. They were reported, and I'm sure they're reported by other people, and were banned. But for the actual just terrible lag, the terrible connections, the terrible things that just make it hard to be a competitive player. And trust me, I'm not that good of a player. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that good of a player. But I want to get better, and it's really, really hard to get better in this meta right now. And I don't know, maybe even not that. Maybe just because it's so laggy all the time, and maybe 2 out of every 3 games that I play are consistently laggy, and it's just really hard to compete in an environment like that. And it makes me want to not play Destiny's PvP. It makes me not want to do it. And Trials of Osiris is coming out tomorrow as of the time I'm recording this. And I don't want to play it. I mean, that seems like a stupid thing to say, but I don't even want to play it. Because I know it's going to be so laggy, and I know that I don't know, it's gonna be horrible. Like I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna have a good experience simply because it's always laggy. And the other point that I'd like to touch on is the current meta right now. I mean, I know that Bungie got a lot of praise for their most recent weapon patch, which came out 1 week before the Taken King. My bad. And I mean, I appreciate forward progress as always, and I'm not saying that Bungie is evil or Bungie is bad or Bungie doesn't, listen to the community. They do. But I read maybe 1 week or 2 weeks ago one of Bungie's weekly updates, and how they were watching the new meta because it's still settling. It's settled, guys. It's bad. I personally don't think that it's any better than everyone just using Thorn and Last Word. I hate it. I think that it's horrible. It's terribly unbalanced, and it's simply hard to play, and it's simply hard to be competitive with unless you're using certain weapons, which I don't like. I mean, did you play Iron Banner? If you're watching this, tell me if you played Iron Banner, and tell me which weapons you were killed by. 99% of the time. I'm guessing you're gonna say it was pulse rifles, because pulse rifles are pretty much the only, competitive option in PvP right now, and I hate that. I can't stand that, because I want to use my hand cannon, I want to use my auto rifle, I want to use my scout rifle, and every once in a while I might want to come back and use my year 1 weapons, but I can't do that because the only thing that can kill fast enough is a pulse rifle, and that's really, really sad. And I understand that there are outlying moments where some people can do good with other guns. I've done good with hand cannons before. I've done good with auto rifles before. But overall, as a whole, the most competitive option right now is most certainly pulse rifles. And it really just hurts me that if I want to compete in a competitive event like Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris, that I have to use a pulse rifle. Like, that's just stupid to me. I want to use other weapons. And, like, obviously, I can make a bunch of suggestions for what they can do to the weapon damage, to the stability or whatever, but I don't want to do that. Like, that's their job. And I don't want people to keep saying that this meta is fine, because it's not. It's really, really not fine. It's better than it was, but it's still not fine. It's still terrible. And it makes me not want to play Destiny's PvP. I mean, Halo 5 just came out, and I played Halo 5 for a day, and the entire time that I was playing Halo 5, I was thinking to myself, man, I just unlocked those weekly bounties, those weekly Crucible bounties, from that really long quest, and I really want to go play those. And I was, the whole time I was playing Halo, that's what I was thinking. And then the next day I came back and played Destiny, and I am immediately reminded how terrible and unbalanced it is. And I don't hate Destiny. It may sound like I hate Destiny. I love Destiny. It's my favorite game. But I don't know what to say about what you're seeing right now. I have no words to describe this, how terribly frustrating the lag in the current meta are right now with how overpowered pulse rifles are. I have no words to describe how frustrating it is. As a person who wants to get better at this game, who isn't, originally isn't that good. Just look at this, what's happening right now. Just look at it. Like, I have no words to describe this. I mean, I don't want to wait 9 months. I had to wait 9 months for Thorn and the Last Word to get nerfed. And then when they did get nerfed, they got the, excuse my language, but they got the shit nerfed out of them. Like, the last word is almost completely useless. Like I said, there's always outliers. There are people who can do good with it. There are people who can do good with Thorn and Last Word. But for the most part, they're going to be beaten out by a pulse rifle every time. Every time. Unless you're playing, a really exceptional player. For the most part, you're going to be beaten out by a pulse rifle. And it's just hard. It's hard for me to want to play Destiny's PvP right now. And it's hard for me to get better at Destiny's PvP right now. And that, to me, is just exceedingly frustrating. And I don't want to wait 9 more months for something to be done about it. If I have to wait 9 more months, I might stop playing Destiny. And that's kind of a sad thing to say. But if I do have to wait 9 months for more weapon balancing, for the lag to be fixed, more subclass balancing possibly, Sunbreaker, I don't want to wait 9 more months. I may just have to play a different game because this isn't worth waiting 9 months for. Like, I love Destiny and I'll play it every now and again, but as of right now, I don't want to wait 9 months. I don't want to play the PvP because it's not fun anymore. Like, even if you do good, you're gonna have to use something like a pulse rifle, and it's just not a good competitive environment right now. It's laggy, it's unbalanced, and I honestly don't have any real suggestions for it because I don't know. I'm speechless. I'm speechless right now. But this is just what I wanted to say. This is what I wanted to get out of my system right now. Basically, the underlying topic of this is Destiny's PvP isn't competitive due to, number 1, the lag, number 2, the terrible weapon balance, and number 3, the terrible subclass balance. That's what I wanted to say, and that those 3 points are what make Destiny's PvP a non-competitive environment that pushes people away from it and makes players not want to play. So that's what I gotta say. This has been Link. thank you for listening to me rant and talk about, you know, our favorite game. And I'm out. See you later.